Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I pray everyone is safe at home, safe and healthy, you and all of your families in this difficult time. Um, and regardless of the situation, what we're all trying to do is maintain a positive, optimistic environment. And alhamdulillah, there are a lot of, although despite the challenge, alhamdulillah, there are a lot of blessings as well. And one of those blessings is that we have the opportunity to develop a very personal relationship with Allah. Now, one of the ways that we develop a very personal relationship with Allah is through knowledge, through knowledge. And all of you who are listening have some background in Arabic, and you're pursuing knowledge. You're pursuing knowledge, and this is an opportunity for many of us to read books on spirituality, how to develop a stronger relationship with Allah. Not necessarily just books of fiqh and so on, but books about Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, His greatness, praising Him, dhikr, and so on. And a lot of resources are out there in English, but you're Arabic students. And so this is an opportunity to kind of hit two birds with one stone. You can read books in Arabic, in the very language that you're learning, while also developing a very strong relationship with Allah. And this is kind of one of the objectives of this seminar, this weekly seminar that we're doing, this Arabic skills workshop. Well, I do want to give you some resources, inshallah, that you guys can use to really um, benefit yourself in your Arabic studies, but also help you develop a stronger relationship with Allah. This seminar is called the Arabic Skills Workshop: Language, Research, and Technology. And one of the things that we want to kind of present to you is how can you use a lot of the devices and the online resources, your computer, your phone, and so on, to help you in your personal Arabic studies. And what we're going to try and do is apply these very skills to a particular text. Okay. And of course, it's going to be a tafsir. Yeah. So let's get started. Now, we don't have a lot of time. This is going to be a weekly series, right? So we're going to try and do, inshallah, as much as we can. So let me just share screen here. Okay. Now everyone should be able to see my screen here, inshallah. So one of the challenges that Arabic students face, and I face this today. I've only been studying for 10 years, since 2010. And one of the challenges that we face is that the Arabic language has a vast uh, bank of Arabic vocabulary words. And I recall multiple durus. Essentially, everyone tries to put like a calculation or a rough calculation to, well, how many vocabulary words are there in Arabic? And I remember one particular linguist. They looked at every single word, every single root letter, and gave like a rough number of how many root letters, how many words are there. I mean, if you were to kind of put a formula together, that if you have 3 or 4 lettered verbs, or 3, 4, 5 lettered nouns, you kind of play around with the numbers. And then you see you have multiple verb forms, and then you have derivatives as well, like the active participle, the passive participle, the command, the prohibition. You have the masdar, you have the present tense, the past tense, present tense. You have the passive, passive active, passive passive. Present tense active, present tense passive. You have all of these, and then you have just common nouns as well. Within each individual noun, you have a singular, you have a dual, you have a plural, and then you also have the feminine as well. All nouns will have be masculine or feminine as well. And when you consider all of these, from gender to number to dual, plural, the past tense, present tense, all of the conjugations and so on. I mean, I've heard anywhere from like 40 million to 250 million, from scholars trying to put in all of these calculations to see, well, how many vocabulary words are there? And this can be very intimidating, and imagine entering your studies in a new language, and you see, oh my gosh, subhanallah, We're talking millions of vocabulary words. Now, regardless of the number, I think we can all agree that there are a lot of vocabulary words in the classical Arabic language because of the derivation system that exists. Even if like many of the words aren't used commonly in speech or even in texts that you read on a regular basis, even if they're not used regularly, theoretically they have to exist. You know, theoretically they have to exist. And every language kind of has that that challenge. I'm sitting in on a tafsir class on a daily basis, and this is with a professional translator as well. And we came across it. It's a linguistic tafsir. We came across the expression. Maybe some of you have seen it before. It's called ma zaida. And to me, zaida, you just think, okay, a supplementary ma. It's an extra ma. It doesn't have much of a meaning. And he translated it as otios. And I'm thinking to myself, what is that? What does that mean? OTOs. Naturally, what are you going to do? Are you gonna pull up a hard copy dictionary and look up OTIOSE? No, what you're going to do is probably just type it in Google, OTOs, and find out what it means, right? Using the technology, using online resources and so on. Now, we Arabic students, what did we do? Even just like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I mean, when I first started, especially 2010, many of our teachers like Sheikh Akram and so on, what did they do in their time when they were first starting out in their Arabic studies, and then, gradually evolving from like, undergrad to graduate school to to their PhD and to to the research phase of their studies? What did they do? Now, what we had to do was we had just a huge library of a bunch of classical Arabic, dictionaries. And what we had to do is take the dictionary out, look it up. You have to look up the fa, look up the ayn, look up the lam, find the different words, and so on. And that's what you have to do. Now, in Arabic is growing in the West. A lot of things are being translated. A lot of resources are being translated. A lot of resources are being essentially digitized. They're being digitized. They're being put onto apps. They're being put onto websites, online databases. You can just do quick research functions and so on. Yeah. And so with that allows you to really, really uh, uh, take your studies to another level in terms of efficiency. So that's what a lot of us Arabic students are doing now, myself included, most of your colleagues, even teachers. I'm a teacher as well. Teachers do it. Shuyukh do it. Even in my tafsir class with various shuyukh, they're doing it themselves because of the nature of the classical Arabic language. Tough words. When you're trying to read classical Arabic text, finding the word, how it's used in its particular context. We need these lexicons. And alhamdulillah, what do we do now? Well, internet and apps are what we do. Yeah, using our minds, using the skills that you already have in the Arabic language. Maybe this seminar is designed for the student who's had like somewhere around, let's say, 20, 30, 40, depending on which institute you've studied with. But this particular seminar is designed for like the student who's had roughly maybe like 20, 25 lessons or something like that. Anyone can really benefit from it. There's no harm, of course. But essentially, what we're going to do is try to teach you how do you use the Arabic skills you already have, that you've absorbed into your mind, into your heart. How do we use our minds, our phones, our computers, and online tools and resources, websites, apps, and so on? How can we develop a quick and effective methodology of researching and learning meanings of vocabulary words? That's essentially what we're trying to do. Now, if you're an ASI student, which many of you might be, you may have attended this seminar that Ustadh Akhlaq and I ran. And at least the first session today is going to be very similar to what you've already seen. But, inshallah, you guys can still benefit from the reminder and the message. Yeah. One thing different that we'll be doing in the seminar is that we'll be actually referencing, we're going to be applying these skills in the context of a tafsir. Inshallah, I'll talk about that tafsir. Okay. Now, why do all of this? Obviously, to learn the language in the text that we're reading as efficiently as possible. That's essentially the objective of this seminar. Yeah, we're reading texts. We have all this time now, sitting at home, given the circumstances. And undoubtedly, you guys are students. We're all students. We're going to be picking up our books now. Yeah, Arabic books. If you're an Arabic student, of course, you need to use this opportunity to pick up these Arabic books. So what this seminar is going to help you to learn the language. How do you access the language in a very efficient way, inshallah. Now, what's the methodology? Step-by-step approach, inshallah. This could be a boring section. if you've already done this, okay, well, step one, we're going to activate Arabic onto your devices. I know some of you may have already done this. I'm going to give you a task. Inshallah, if you have already done this, I'm going to give you a quick task. Now, today, inshallah, we'll also develop some Arabic typing skills. Just give you some quick tips, inshallah, on how to type faster. Of course, you're using your tech, your devices, your phone, your computer. You need to be able to, just like I did, looking up that word OTOs on dictionary. Well, what did I had to have English activated on my computer? I needed to be able to type the word. We have to go back to the basics. So we have to activate Arabic onto our devices. We need to develop the Arabic typing skills. You have to know where the letters are, right? So it's not going to be as easy. We have to figure out, well, how can we figure out where these letters are, right? Well, I'll give you some quick tips and some things you may need to purchase over the next week if you haven't already done so. So I'll give you some resources on how to research Arabic words very quickly, and obviously that will be in the context of a tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha, and then how will we do that? Well, we're going to use English to Arabic dictionaries. I'll show you which websites you can access. I'll show you some of the many online resources, like we're talking 10, 15 or so. We'll use, at least in the kind of introductory phases of this seminar, we'll use primarily 3 resources. Inshallah, I'll talk about them. I'll give some reference to some apps as well, but to be honest, the purpose of this seminar is not necessarily, because we're all on our computers. Most of us are listening in on our computers. So I'll reference some apps, but for the most part, we'll be using some websites and some online resources on the computer. And hopefully, inshallah, if we have some time, I really want to introduce some Arabic to Arabic online resources as well. The resources from English to Arabic will obviously be limited, whereas the resources that you have in the Arabic language that explain the words that you're trying to look up in Arabic, well, those are resources you can imagine. You've got 1,500 years, 1,400 years of this content. We have a lot of lexicons that haven't been translated into English. It's a field that many of you, inshallah, this type of stuff that it can really benefit the student if we can get some of these things translated. If any of you to advance in your studies of Arabic, so inshallah, we're hoping to do all of the above in the context of a tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay, now today, right now, actually, inshallah, what we're going to do is. By the end of it, inshallah, the learning outcomes, you learn how to, as I've already talked about, you learn how to utilize your tech to make your Arabic learning more efficient. You learn how to use the most common English to Arabic dictionaries and develop confidence to use them in your studies, because that's one thing a lot of new Arabic students lack, is the confidence to just go pick up a book and just give it a try. If you don't have that confidence, it can really, really bring you down in your studies, and you may not want to pick up a book in like a whole week's time, sometimes a month's time, if you don't know, if vocabulary words are overwhelming to you. So this seminar will be very useful, inshallah, to help you achieve that. Inshallah, again, if you have time, I want to familiarize you with some of the classical Arabic dictionaries, and inshallah, that should be a source of inspiration, an aspiration for you guys to, I want to be able to read this, inshallah, in the future. And then, every single Arabic student, you need to have like a bookmark of like a personal list of Arabic learning resources, inshallah, that you regularly access in your studies. So inshallah, you'll develop that. Now, I have to go through this. This is the boring part, okay? But we have to do this in the first session, so I'll need about 5 minutes or so with you to go through this. Now, for you guys who are listening and you've already done this, you have Arabic on your Windows, on your PC, or if you have Arabic on your Mac, this is irrelevant to you guys for the most part right now. So what I want you to do is do a Google search. You should be able to see my screen here. What I want you to do is to find the tafsir in both Arabic and English. Get the PDF of Tafsir Jalalain. Okay, so what I want you to do is figure that out yourself. You'll have to Google it. Yeah, Tafsir Jalalain. I'll explain it when we get to it, inshallah. The Tafsir of Jalalain. What we're going to do is use Surah Al-Fatiha, and I'm going to basically put myself in the mind of a student who's only had, let's say, 20, 25, maybe 30 lessons of Arabic. And I'm going to show you with this level of experience, okay, with a bit of knowledge about the noun sentence, a bit of knowledge about verbal sentence, a bit of knowledge about verb conjugations, with a bit of knowledge about verb forms 1 through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? A bit of knowledge about the root system, different derivatives like the ism fa'il, ism maf'ul, the amr, the fi'l mudari, fi'l madi, the passive verbs, the masdar, with a bit of knowledge about this, maybe 20, 30 lessons or so. And obviously the different cases, marfu', majzoom, mansub, majroor. I'm going to put myself in the mind of an Arabic student, and how would I begin to read one of the most basic tafsirs written in the, I think, 14th or 15th century by Suyuti? Um, um, I believe 14th, 15th century. How would you begin to approach something like this with only 20, 25 lessons of classical Arabic studies and grammar and morphology and literature and so on? So how would you go about doing that? That's what I'm going to do, inshallah. So for those of you who have already activated Arabic onto your phones, that's your task. Just figure it out yourself. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you right now. I'm not going to send you the PDFs. You guys have to figure that out yourself. Find the PDF. It's going to be, by the way, it's going to be very easy, but khair, it's an experience nonetheless. You have to find the Arabic of this, and then I want you to also find the English as well. All right. This, alhamdulillah, from this organization, a great organization that has taken on the task of a very big tafsir translation project, Royal Ahlul Bayt in Jordan. They've done a translation of this, Tafsir al-Jalalain. Okay, and you should know the morphology or the kind of the structure of Jalalain. Yeah, why is it two Jalals? You can think about that. There's another task. Why is it the tafsir of two Jalals? Okay, and find the English PDF and find the Arabic PDF. Khair, inshallah. That will be your task. Now, let's go back to this. All right, boring part, but for those of you who haven't activated Arabic onto your keyboards, khair, inshallah, you'll benefit from this the most. Now, firstly, uh, firstly, I'll walk you through this, inshallah, because I obviously have a Windows computer, so I can walk you through this, but Mac is going to be a bit more challenging. So what I want you to do is to add the Arabic keyboard onto your Windows Windows computer, your PC. In the search bar, just go type in settings. Okay, it'll open up a box, a dialog box, right? And look for this section here. It should be titled Time and Language. It could be time or it just could be language. It could be separate. It might be both in one, time and language. Okay, you'll see a section that basically says Add Language. Click on that. All right, or maybe like a plus sign, Add Language. Okay, and what we want you to do is then find there'll be Arabic for Jordan, Arabic for Egypt, Arabic for Saudi Arabia, Arabic for Morocco, right? Each one kind of has its own keyboard, if you will, as in where the letters positioned and so on, that kind of stuff. So usually students in the West, because of Mecca and Medina, they tend to just pick Al-Mamlakatul Al-Arabiyatul Saudiya. They tend to just pick that. So khair, inshallah, just do that, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, okay? And then what I want you to do is in your Windows search bar, type in, once you've activated it, what I want you to do is then in the Windows search bar, type on-screen keyboard, okay? Type on-screen keyboard. And the reason why is because if you've got Arabic activated onto your keyboard, onto your computer, you have no idea where the letters are. If you just activated it and you're just going to be freaking out, how do I go back to English? How do I go back to English, right? So what will help you is an on-screen keyboard that when you switch to Arabic, the letters will appear and you'll know how to use that, inshallah. Now, once you've done that, essentially, you will have, there's a default hotkey that's used to switch between English and Arabic keyboards. So you don't always have to take your mouse, go into the corner, and then click on a button, and then go from English to Arabic. And then when you want to switch, you have to take your mouse again and so on. Again, the idea is efficiency. The idea is efficiency. So what you do is just take your fingers just quickly while you're typing anyway. You just move your fingers around, and inshallah you'll get you'll be able to get your fingers used to this hotkey, where you can switch from English to Arabic very, very quickly. And what's the hotkey for Windows? Left Alt plus Shift. Okay. And then inshallah you'll be able to type anything into a blank document or something. So let me just give you an example here. Yeah, I have a document here that's open. Let's just move this from typing direction right to left, and Alt Shift. I'm typing in Arabic, right? Press Enter, Alt Shift, and then I can type in English. You see that, yeah? So that's the idea. Now, I know you guys can see my screen, so let me just show you what I did very quickly. So go to Settings. Very quickly, if you weren't able to follow along, You go to settings, this screen comes up, time and language is right there. And then you go to language, click on language there, and then says add a preferred language, click on plus, and then a bunch of languages appear. You need to find Arabic, and I've already put Arabic on, but you'd have to find Arabic and then brackets, parentheses, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, close, and then click. From there, you'd have to then click next and just follow the protocol to add it, and then you'll show here English, United Kingdom, Arabic, Al-Mamlakat Al-Arabiyyah Saudiya. Yeah, it says language pack installed. Khair, it's done now. Okay, you can then close it. And like I said, Alt Shift will allow you to kind of move between the two. All right. So that's for the Windows very quick. Now I don't have a Windows, and I left Mac in 2017, I think in 2017. So I forgot a lot about how to use Mac, but we've got some directions for you to follow. And what I'm going to do is try very hard to give the impression that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you guys have to just follow along with me, inshallah, and I won't be able to demonstrate to you how to do it on your Mac, but we'll just follow along with the directions. Yeah. So to activate Arabic onto your Mac keyboard, what you need to do is go to the System Preferences from the Apple menu in the top left corner. Yeah, click on System Preferences. Now you'll have essentially probably two options in the System Preferences. Either it'll say Keyboard or it'll say Language and Text. Maybe it might say something else now. I'm not sure how it's evolved and changed. So, but basically it's going to be one of these two, Keyboard or Language and Text, whatever you find. Now, I'm going to show a picture of this in a bit, inshallah, but like a little box will appear. And what you want to do is click on the Import Sources tab. Again, I'll show you a picture of it. And on the left sidebar, you basically have to find the language that you want. And you have to locate the Arabic entry, select it, okay? And select it. Now, yeah, and if it's another operating system, or another version, maybe an earlier version, you might have to press this kind of, it's like a plus icon, and then you have to locate the Arabic entry and then add it. Essentially, this is what it looks like. You see here, input sources, yeah? A list of languages might appear. You have to click Arabic, and then obviously add, yeah? And then it will show you US and, oh, sorry, well, that's, it would obviously show United Kingdom, but anyway, and then Arabic as well. And so now what you've done is you've successfully added the Arabic keyboard onto your Apple. Okay, and again, all of these languages are here. Obviously, you just have to find Arabic, and just like on the PC, you had Arabic, Jordan, Arabic, a different region. On Apple, at least what we've noticed is that it's going to have just regions as well, or a bunch of these here. Just click on the one Arabic that doesn't have any letters after it. Azerty, North Africa, PC, QWERTY. Just don't worry about that. Again, actually, it's your choice if you want to do it. You just have to figure out like the keyboard. If anything, the difference is just going to be where is the dad, where is the ain, where is the ghain? Is there any standard one? But at the end of the day, it's whatever your fingers get used to. Yeah. So anyway, to add the Arabic keyboard, then now how would you basically switch Arabic from the Arabic to the English keyboard? I think on the top right, what you will see is basically like a crescent like this. It could be black or green, and like it might be a green crescent or it might be an ayn. Yeah, it might be like an ayn, depending on your version. But it's going to be one of the two, as far as I know. Now, you've added the keyboard. Onto your computer. Again, what's the hotkey on Apple to switch between the two? Well, you have Command space. That's the default. That's the default for Apple, switching between the two input source languages, English and Arabic. So you press Command space, it switches to Arabic. Press it again, Command space, it's going to switch to English. Yeah, and again, it's about efficiency. Right? You don't want to have to keep taking your mouse and going to the corner, pressing the button, going back and typing what you need to type, and then taking your mouse and going back. You'll be able to type very fast. And you'll see once we're reading the tafsir, what you will see is that efficiency is going to help you when you have to copy and paste words or you have to type words up. It's going to help you, inshallah. Okay. Now, an alternative to all of this, just watch a tutorial on YouTube. Okay. just YouTube it. Again, efficiency, right? If this doesn't help you, just find a tutorial on YouTube. Say, how do I activate Arabic onto my Apple? Activating Arabic onto my PC. Okay, khair, inshallah. Okay. Now, what's the next step? Now, the next step essentially is you guys have no idea where your letters are. You have no idea where the Arabic letters are. Yeah. So what you need to do is basically just purchase Arabic keyboard stickers and just get them on Amazon. Okay. And what you do is then on your on-screen keyboard. So this would be my on-screen keyboard, how it's displayed. Yeah. You'd have to take those stickers. There'll be a sticker for a dod and place that over the Q. There'll be a sticker for the sod, right? Peel it off, and then you have to put it over the W. And then that'll kind of, you do this for all of the stickers. The shadda is here, the fatha is over the Q. You have to press Shift Q, Shift W is the fatha tanween. This essentially will make it a bit easier for you to learn the where the position of the letters are. Now, I did it the hard way. I decided not to get any stickers because I didn't want anything stuck on my keyboard, and I just did a bunch of typing tests to kind of figure out where the letters were, and I kind of just gradually picked it up, inshallah. And look, there's a typing test right here. You know what? Let me just I'll just do a quick 1-minute typing test for you guys. Why not? Why not? Now, hopefully, I'm not gonna embarrass myself. Yeah, that would be bad. All right, Bismillah. Here it is. Yeah, and so basically, you just kind of naturally figure out, where are the letters because you'll be making a billion mistakes, right? You might get 4 letters per minute. You might get 4 letters per minute, but khair, inshallah, you do a bunch of them, and essentially you'll figure it out, right? Ta'aleem, Ramadan, Qada. Oops. Ooh, messed up there. Phone. Look at that. 30 accuracy, 88%, 32 words. Kalima per daqiqa. Kalima per daqiqa. KBD. Kaf badas. I'm sorry. Kaf bada. Kalimat بر دقيقة or بالدقيقة. So I don't know what they're intending, but you get the idea. So you do a bunch of those. Essentially, you'll gradually just your mind imagine after like 10 typing tests, your mind is going to figure out, I kept making a mistake there. I kept making a mistake there. That's essentially where the letters are. So if you don't want to put stickers on your keyboard like me, that's an option. That's an option for you. Mac, here are the keys. Okay. All right. Again, the same thing. You purchase those keyboard stickers and then place them. This has its own keyboard, its own location. The Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra might be in different locations and so on. Now, my time is running out. In the meantime, I want you guys to get these 2 quick apps, Era Tools and then Arabic Almanac, the Hanswear. So get that on your computer, get that on your phones. Yeah, Era Tools I think you might have to pay for, but it's worth it, inshallah. And I'll show you very briefly how to use that, inshallah, in next week's seminar. Now, the online resources that I want you guys to use for the time being, I want you to bookmark these, Era Tools again, and then what I want you to do in Google is type in Ajtal, Ajtaal, and what we're going to use, that's an online database of dictionaries. It's got a bunch of dictionaries, including the one that I mentioned in the app, the Hanswear app, okay? Now, we're going to be referencing that a lot. There's 2 dictionaries, actually, Lane's Lexicon and Hanswear, that we're going to reference that's on this online database. So put that in your, make your own kind of Arabic resources bookmark or folder that you're going to bookmark, and then you're going to start adding a bunch of dictionaries onto there, inshallah. Okay, and Ajtal is going to be one of those online databases of many, inshallah, of many that I'm going to introduce to you. And from there, what we're going to do is start with those two, and then next week what we're going to do is, I'm hoping that you guys were able to find the tafsir, because I'm not going to send you the PDF. All right, it's very easy to find. You need to find the Arabic one and the English one. So what we're going to do is start right away from page 1 here, and read the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. And like I said, I'm going to put myself inside the mind of an Arabic student, yeah, who's got maybe just 20, 25 lessons of training. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you basically, قال الإمام جلال الدين المحلي. Yeah. So I'll show you. I mean, قال. Okay, I've seen that before. Who said Al-Imam Jalaluddin Al-Mahalli? All right, and this was the teacher of Imam As-Suyuti. Yeah. Uh, uh, he said, and I'm going to show you how do you look up qala to get like a good translation. Yeah. Suratul Fatiha. Yeah. How do I look up surah? Well, I've heard the word surah before, but what about the root letters? What about some other related words? How can I use those two resources to figure that out? Yeah, even though we know it's rough translation, the chapter al-Fatiha, right? And then, inshallah, what we'll do is next week we're going to read this first paragraph and your homework, right? Right? Why not? Why not? Inshallah, try to read the first paragraph and then we'll continue with Surah Al-Fatiha. Yeah, Surah Al-Fatiha مكية سبع آيات بالبسملة إن كانت منها والسابعة صراط الذين إلى آخرها وإن لم تكن منها فالسابعة غير المغضوب إلى آخرها ويقدر في أولها قولوا ليكون ما قبل إياك نعبد مناسبا له بكونه من مقول العباد. Yeah. So inshallah, next week what we're going to do is we'll start with um, those two resources using Era Tools 1 and then Edgetal, that online database of dictionaries. We'll use a few dictionaries on there. And again, I'll be the Arabic student and we're going to go through this passage and inshallah more, yeah, together. Together, inshallah, looking up words, looking up root letters, looking up related words, thinking about, well, what about the grammar? You know, how do I make sense? How do I make sense of this? Inshallah, and inshallah, it'll be not just an educational experience for us, not just in terms of knowledge, expanding our vocabulary, expanding our level of grammar and morphology, and so on. It's and not just our efficiency in our Arabic learning, but I'm really hoping that if we get to, it's a tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. How many times do we recite it in the day? And so I'm hoping it'll be, inshallah, a good spiritual experience for us as well, especially given the nature of Tafsir Jalalain, which is it actually is an easy tafsir to read through with, even for a basic Arabic student, an introductory level Arabic student. Khair, inshallah, we'll stop there. I've given you guys some homework, and we'll see you, inshallah, next week. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته